So we've got Shadow Cave right over here directly in front of me, where I've got the divers right now pumping tracing dye directly into the spring. If any of that tracing dye shows up in just one other cave, then we've got evidence that there is a tunnel system. Holy guys, we've got a flare.
Dan, I got color in cave 5.
This is it.
Holy, we got another one.
Hey, Dan. Hey, we got green in cave 7.
What's going on here? It's not what I thought would happen. I'm looking for one tunnel, one cave, one connection. 2, I'm not quite sure what that's telling me.
Along the far wall, color in cave 3.
Now we got 3.
Holy shit, we got 3 confirmed tunnels.
Now it's got me concerned. 2 tunnels close together, 3. We've now got multiple sites that have this traceable dye. I just don't know what to make of this yet.
Mom, Dad, you guys got a copy?
What's up, son?
Hey, I was just walking over here by the Marsh, and I got something interesting. You guys come over here and check it out.
We're on our way.
After their dye test showed multiple connections to Shadow Cave, Derek has found more dye in the Marsh.
What do you got, bud?
Hey, so, stumbled upon something interesting.
You gotta be kidding me. It's right here coming out of the marsh.
It's amazing.
Well, I don't quite know what this means. So we've got multiple sites that have this traceable dye, and now we've got it in the marsh. I just can't put my finger on exactly what it means.
This marsh has only been here for 15 years or so. Maybe a tunnel system broke?
Yeah. It absolutely could be that the tunnel system has collapsed and that somehow it's breached, it's connected to the marsh, clearly.
That makes sense.
Dan's dye test established 3 possible connections to Shadow Cave, but this newest connection in the marsh is the closest one.
So if there was a tunnel system that failed or had a breach, then I'm hoping that some form of artifacts, gold, or other tools or objects has washed down into this marsh. How's it going, TC?
Good. Finding some rocky areas over here.
So I've got Derek and TC right now scraping up and taking samples of the silt and mud and rocks right where the green dye appeared. Gina and I have some sifters. And much like you would pan for gold a little bit and wash away the mud and dirt, rinsing them off.
Find anything, Dad?
No artifacts.
Nothing.
Definitely some beautiful rocks, though. Checking with the metal detector to see if anything, gold or precious metals pop up. But also examining what's there, because you never know what we can find. Well, I got something here.
Really?
Hold up. Right here.
Oh, wow.
I've got a piece of pottery.
That's
Look
a
at that.
beauty. Hold that up to the light. Oh, wow.
See the lines?
Yeah, that's...
We've got some pottery. This is exciting, actually.
That's so exciting.
Finding rocks is fun, guys. But this right here, this is definitely a sign that we've got some man-made activity.
If this pottery was flushed out of a tunnel, could it be evidence to support Dan's grandfather's theory?
I wonder how far that dates back.
So it makes sense that this pottery could be connected to the Aztecs.
Aztec craftsmen used local clay to make plates and bowls for everyday use, and also created more elaborate pieces for religious ceremonies. Finding a shard of pottery here is a good sign, suggesting that some Aztec lived or passed through here.
We'll put it in our finders keepers tray.
All right, we'll jump
Let's
back
get
in.
back to work. It's exciting, guys.
Finding that pottery makes me believe we're gonna find more.
I'm not seeing much in here.
Got something interesting here. Huh.
What'd you find?
I don't know.
Let me take a look at it.
Here, let me Go ahead and check
yeah.
that out. I'm pretty sure that's obsidian.
Oh, yeah. Looks like they carved it. It's rigid on the sides. You can tell how they worked
It's
it right
sharp.
there. That's a good find.
You guys find something?
Yeah. Looks like I've got a little obsidian, part of a knife or a blade, you know, cutting tool that would have been used.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you could definitely, yeah, just from the grooves on the side.
So I believe that this object that I have found is obsidian.
Obsidian is a naturally occurring volcanic glass. Aztec warriors used it to make arrowheads and spear points. Finding obsidian here is another promising sign.
When you hold it up to the light, I mean, you can see through the edges. It is just thin, razor sharp. Look at that. This will cut you right now. It could have been used for everyday activities that you or I would use a knife for.
That's a good find.
That's
It's
awesome.
amazing. If we have an expert look at this, we'll get an idea of the time frame. But I'm telling you guys right now, it's definitely important.
The Dillman family have invited Dr. Glade Haddon to Dan's office to try and get more information about the piece of obsidian that they found. With over 30 years of professional experience as an archaeologist, including at the Bureau of Land Management, Dr. Haddon's expertise is invaluable to better understand this latest find.
Glade, I'm excited to have you here. We've spent a lot of time here in this canyon, and I believe we have found something really interesting, and I want to share that with you.
All right, bring it on.
Derek, why don't you pass that on down there to Glade?
Well, yes, you definitely have something interesting. First off, it's made of obsidian. You guys know what obsidian is, right? Okay, I mean, it's a volcanic glass. One of the reasons people chose obsidian to make tools with is because it's a really easy stone to work with. It's glass, which means you can drive off flakes off of this thing that are thinner than anything that we can create with modern science.
Right.
I know an archaeologist who had eye surgery who created his own scalpels with obsidian because you can flake this stuff down to where it's like one molecule thick.
Got it. Wow, interesting.
In this particular country right here, this is kind of a rare find. You don't find a lot of obsidian blades like this in this area. But I see one thing about this that makes it really interesting, and that is the fact that only one edge has ever been used on this. If you look at it very closely, you can see this edge right here has a lot of step fracture, where pieces of glass will break off as you're using it as a tool. The other side doesn't have the same step fracture.
Interesting.
That tells me that this was hafted into something. And it was hafted along this side, so part of it stuck out like that. Dare I say, it's a lot more like the blades you would find in actual weapons.
And what kind of weapon could it have been?
The most common type that I can think of that would have used a blade like this would have been a Aztec macuto.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the most fearsome close combat weapons wielded by Aztec warriors was a flat wooden paddle surrounded by obsidian glass blades, known as a macuito. This weapon was designed not just to kill the enemy, but could also be used to slash their flesh and cause massive bleeding so they could be taken alive and sacrificed.
I'm blown away. To hear that we may have found a piece to a macuito right here proves, in my opinion, that we have got a connection to the Aztecs. When you start telling me that this was a blade or a weapon, you know, it gets me excited because it is a tool the Aztecs could have used or would have used, and we have it in a place that my grandfather said that we're gonna find Aztec treasure. Every little thing that we find inspires me to keep moving forward. It tells me that there may be other artifacts to find, and so we can't just let that go. We've got to spend some time right here and figure out if we've got some other treasures to unearth.